So it's going to be two different styles. One very flat boat, slowly moving downwind, very nice, and then a faster reaching where I believe we'll see the IMOCAs as well go by. To us, it's a one design race, just like the Figaro. It's you can be better, but it can take days to get away from someone.
Yeah, I think it's not going to be easy to go out of Brittany and of Lorient, and then we're supposed to have a bit more breeze and a bit more breeze also going into Portugal. But yeah, I think the hard part will be the start, the first few days, and we'll see after where we sit. But yeah.
Yeah, it's very different sailing with the crew and only like 4 or 3 days of races, but it's kind of the same boats, so I'm very used to this kind of boats and I know how to behave on these boats, and so for me it's almost like I'm at home when I'm on this kind of boat. So I think we all know very well how to sail on this kind of boats, but we don't really know how to sail together. So this is the main challenge.
Yeah, I think it's good for us. We have the opportunity to learn a lot in different weather conditions. It also opens the door for us. Like if you're behind, maybe there's a chance to catch up, or vice versa. So yeah, we're looking forward to it.
Welcome to the inaugural Ocean Race Europe, bringing together 2 high-performance offshore classes onto one course, one start line. We're racing just outside the city of Lorient, where the boats were at harbour just a few hours ago. Not quite far enough out from the city to get into full breeze. And unfortunately, it doesn't really look like we're going to get the thermal breeze kicking in, but this is going to be their first challenge. From the start line, we're going to be going through a first gate, and then it is out into the ocean and out into the wide space. So, well, the red buoy, just you can see it on the bottom of your screen just a moment ago, that was the pin end of the line. And as we're looking at it at the moment, the fleet are going to be starting on a reaching start. We are inside of 5 seconds to go. And we've got Sailing Poland down at the bottom with Team AkzoNobel just on top of them. And those 2 boats have certainly been able to get through. These boats, in terms of design and in terms of setup, aren't necessarily tuned for these kind of conditions. So,
you know, I think we're going to see a big difference in how they handle the boats. Let's face it, on the 60s, with these big foils that they can't really use right now, they have a crew for the first time ever.
This is basically trying to get yourself into the first of the breeze, and it looks like the boat that's going to achieve that is Mirpuri. They are really firing out.
As Ken was saying before, a set of new sails here obviously goes a long way if the other teams are using, you know, the sails that have been around the planet once.
We've got Mirpuri Racing Foundation over 9 knots of boat speed. Doesn't sound like a lot, but it is pretty critical. They are leading the fleet with Childhood 1 just slightly to leeward, but looking pretty strong. You know, this boat here is quite remarkable. The Austrian Ocean Racing Project with Gerwin Jansen, he's the skipper. He's in his 30s, and everybody else on that boat is younger than 27. Every single person is in their early 20s.
I think 11th Hour is one of the teams, the only teams right now pushing how hard they can make the configuration on the IMOCA work for 4 sailors, 4 or 5. And man, it's a tight space down there. It's meant for one person.
Who'd have thought that this is where our sport was going, right? But it is here, and it's here to stay. All of the boats are still planning on using the self-steering or the auto helm device upwards of 90% of the time, because the boats were designed for that. The actual visibility for the helmspeople on these 60s is still really bad. They can't do that at all on the 65. There is no self-steering. I think they're going to learn a ton about these boats in this race. Fully crewed, again, hopefully pushed right to their limits. Let's see if it gets a little too windy over the next 36 hours, because they all think they got to start backing off at about 30 knots of wind speed. Obviously, it's sea state dependent.
This is how the course is set out, and you can see just how much freedom is waiting for them. I mean, Sally, we've been talking about coastal racing, but this first leg in particular, it has got a lot of options. There is going to be a lot of wide open spaces for them.
But anyway, they're going to have some good pressure here as they get offshore, and that's when we'll see some good stuff on the tracker and hopefully some good video coming off the boats.
Yeah, it's been light here in Lorient. It was a very, very tricky start, but the good thing is that these boats, these pedigree teams, have been able to find the best of the wind. We've seen some speeds approaching around about 9 knots, which is pretty good for some light winds, but they have been pushing hard. It's only the first day, it's only the first leg, and it's only the first challenge, and we're surely seeing more speed and more racing to come. We hope you've enjoyed it, and we will see you very soon.